Hey guys, and welcome back to Shadow the Hedgehog. You join us here in Freedom Zone, where we see the President taking a call. I don't know whether it's actually Freedom Zone, or it's not America. It's kind of weird placing all the different continents in this version of our particular universe. I know for a fact there's no blue hedgehogs running around, because if there was, I would catch one and name it Sonic.
And that's why we're not leaving you in charge of anything important like that. But yeah, this here we've got it's kind of a confusing thing with like the different agencies and that, and how much emphasis we see on this, because like the president's gonna be really important in this game. There's gonna be like the government of the United Nations commander's gonna be really important in that game. And can I just take a moment to say how government of United Nations sounds a fucking mouthful when you say it out loud?
Can I take a moment to ask why the president has a picture of Shadow and Sonic on his fucking desk? What, are they like heroes now? Did they get the Medal of Honor or something?
Well, Tom, they are heroes. Did you not play the previous game in this series?
Yeah,
they are
Sonic heroes.
Oh, well, just damn both of you straight to hell. Although, to be completely serious, they did both save the world from a gigantic lizard with a space station stuck up its arse in SA2.
Yes.
And then in Sonic Heroes, they beat the ultimate Sonic fanboy, Metal Sonic / Metal Overlord, from doing something. I don't know, his plan was kind of vague. It was like, take over the world using Eggman's fleet. But, I don't know, Egg Fleet was a sweet level, so I don't really mind all that much.
What?
Now we're kind of getting into our little throwbacks to SA2. We're sort of touching on Shadow with his amnesia and like sort of remembering little bits and having flashbacks, but not really piecing it together. And may I remind you that Prison Island was blown the fuck up in SA2? Yeah, it still sort of got formation to it here.
Huh. It kind of looks like Prison Island in Bad Future, like if it was in like Sonic CD or something.
Well, I mean, you say it's bad future. Look who's here. You might be right there.
Oh, Jesus. This is the worst future.
But, Tom, what's a top secret disc?
Fuck you. I don't give a crap what a top secret disc is. Just be thankful that this is the neutral route and we don't have to deal with this bollocks yet.
See, the thing is that when you have these, like, different missions, you can either use the D-pad or go left, like, go into the start menu, switch which character's talking to you, but because I know we all like Charmy so much, I'm just gonna let him hang about.
Wait, you did this on purpose?
Yeah, because I'm an obnoxious prick. But yeah, it's like, he's gonna badger us about finding these, like, 5 secret discs or some shit, and like, we're just doing the get to the goal wing mission, so you can just let him waffle away to himself, problem solved.
Well, thank Christ. Prison Island, not one of my favourite Shadow the Hedgehog levels, mostly because it's just kind of like the same thing over and over until you reach the goal, not all that visually interesting. I do kind of like the little Beyblade-esque platform that you can ride on, across the toxic sludge. Not a really well-run government facility, but I guess the president's more interested in spending time stroking his beloved signed picture of Sonic and Shadow.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that there was very little time for that photo to actually be taken unless it was done after Heroes.
Yeah, I suppose so, because, Shadow and Sonic were fighting throughout most of SA2, and during Heroes, he was, like, massively amnesiac, or however the phrase goes, so I doubt he even understood what the concept of a picture was.
Yeah, like, Shadow just thought he'd signed up to a modelling gig or some shit, like, who the fuck's this blue guy?
Blue Steel, nice. Well, Flame, what's your take on Prison Island? What's your favourite route to play Prison Island on musically? How do you feel? All of the above.
Yeah, I think music's not overly memorable for this stage, but like level itself, it's inoffensive. This is one that you encounter on the neutral path, so you're more than likely going to be going neutral. So, like, just dash to the end, ignore Charmy, jobs are good. But visually, it does what it needs to do. It's like I say, it doesn't really make sense how Prison Island's still here, but I can ignore that. I can't ignore getting stuck in the spring. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
You get, like, Shadow's not really an overly broken game, but every now and then you get, like, little quirks like that.
Well, you say it's not broken. Shall we get into the subject of Heroes Physics versus Shadows? Shall we broach that particular topic?
Well, I know I've touched briefly on how the control's sort of wank in the last part. The control is really slippery. And
Yes, it is. And I do not understand anyone who says it has better controls than Heroes. I'm sorry, I don't. It controls worse. It may be more fun to play than Heroes for some people, but from a control standpoint, I just feel they had, like, you know, their interests set in other areas, like the soundtrack, the route construction, and definitely the story.
I think what it kind of is it feels sort of the same as Heroes in terms of control, but in Heroes you weren't stopping, looking around for things, clearing the areas. You were just sort of dashing forward, whereas here, because you're actively having to slow down and look around for shit, then you really feel it when you sort of slip off to something or whatever.
I mean, I suppose that definitely makes sense, because Heroes is definitely a janky game to play, because that's slippery and floaty and just all sorts of weirdness. So the fact that they got it even worse for Shadow makes me very glad that I've never played it.
Of course, you gotta have a Sonic game, be it a spin-off or a mainline game, without Eggman, whose mustache looks really odd in this game for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just the texture.
Yeah, also Tom,
Uh-huh.
spin-off game without Eggman, Black Knight.
True. Although, if, you know, Sonic Generations is to be believed, the storybook games are canon.
Well, exactly. I just wish that they were more canon than they kind of are. If that makes any sense at all.
Are you gonna launch, rather, into an X Gamer Richie rant about Black Knight?
Hey, I agree with Richie. I like Black Knight too.
I love Black Knight a lot, but it deserves better than to be praised through the roof by me in a Shadow the Hedgehog playthrough.
Well, you know, the HFC playthrough of Black Knight isn't that great, so I guess along with SA2, we'll put a new coat of paint on it with some new commentary and so forth at a later date.
Beautiful.
So, why exactly is Shadow taking orders from Black Doom on the neutral path? Shouldn't he be, like, a law unto his own at this point?
In theory, yes, but I imagine it's probably a way to not have to overcomplicate their writing any more than they already have, like, just plopping in a cutscene, like, regardless of where you've come from. If you get to this level, you're going to have Black Doom preaching to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it's even weirder, though, in some other areas, like, when you've just defied a character, but then you're sucking up to it in the next cutscene.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, we haven't really touched on the weapons system yet. Before I, you know, go into my little spiel about it, do you want to, like, talk briefly about what types of weapons there are in Switchblade?
There are a fair variety of weapons. Like, some of them are contextually appropriate, others of them, like, what the actual fuck.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, the gunplay is the main new thing that sticks out to you, and I think overall it does actually work pretty well. It's better than Heroes, where, like, for, you know, health bar enemies and you just got to keep mashing buttons at them. This, like, you can shoot them and it gets them out of the way really quickly. But yeah, as for the weapons themselves, right now we've got one of Eggman's ones. The Black Arms have their own brands of weapons.
Yeah, alien weapons.
Yeah, as do the gun soldiers. And yeah, there's some that are pretty decent, like the one I've got here, but there are also, like, the swords that have an ammo count for some reason.
Yeah, I never really got the hang of using the swords, but weapon-wise there's stuff like handguns, rifles, Gatling guns, bazookas. There's even, like, a vacuum gun at one point, I believe, in the shape of one of the eggs from Billy Hatcher. That's the point, actually. If ever you see a box with a Shadow the Hedgehog icon on it, that's your cue to open it and get one of these special items, which I believe you have to unlock. Is that right, Flame?
Yeah, to my understanding, it's from, like, getting an ending and you get a new one added to the box. You'll see a lot of them if I ever open any in this playthrough, because I was playing this from a completed save file.
Hey, have you ever gotten all of the, like, 300 plus ending combinations?
Don't fucking tempt me.
Oh my god, he'd do it as well, he'd do it.
He would indeed, and that is what terrifies me.
Oh yeah. So Flame, a little bird tells me that you're a big fan of Sky Troops. Why is that exactly?
I like the music of it. The music is just chill as. What I don't get is Skytroop's placement. Because, like, going back on the logic that if you're here, you're probably playing neutral. You'll have already played Glyphic Canyon, which looks like it's set in the same place. So it's like we've looped around on ourselves.
Well, I suppose it's like a stony version of Egg Fleet this time around.
Yeah, I guess, but...
And also, you know, they turned off the sepia tone for this level, so you get gorgeous blue skies and whatnot.
Oh, this is making me happy.
Shadow the Hedgehog's making you happy already. I didn't think it'd take that long for you to turn into me.
It's just because it's making me think of another slightly janky game by Yuji Naka that's set in the air with floating islands.
I think we all know what that is. Rodeo.
Ah, Secret Rings got you.
Okay, let me stop you there. Yuji Naka had no involvement with Secret Rings, I'm pretty sure.
No, but there was clearly inspiration how good the controls were.
Ignoring you.
You are completely wrong in that, Flame. I will fight you IRL.
Oh my god. Have I actually broken Rixie? I don't think that would be possible.
Yeah, I think your antics, or your bantics on Twitter, to use their proper terminology, have destroyed him. He was a good boy to begin with, and now look at him. Posted swears on the timeline and whatnot.
No, Flame, despite all of his attempts of posting a plethora of legs and anime waifus on his timeline, still hasn't broken me just yet. Although the temptation to put him on mute is very, very high.
It's what I battle with every single day, really. Flame, you chose this game for us to cover. You better get ready for all of this and more, my friend.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm happy to defend a game that, like... It's something about this game's tone generally that I like because, like, it's gone full fucking ridiculous. And that in itself is like taking what Sonic was but in a completely different direction. It's over the top silly. It's not like the Hedgehog with the attitude now, it's just the grimdark, edgy. And I can dig this. I think it works. I
guess, but it's kind of playing it a bit too straight for my liking. I would rather play it more tongue-in-cheek. You know, like, I don't know, like Colours is really sarcastic and dry. I think I would prefer something more like that.
It always ends up playing a little bit better when there's a little element of the camp about it. I mean, just look at Rocky Horror. That's a very dark musical, but it's so ridiculously camp.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time for another part of Shadow the Hedgehog. Bye for now.
Perfect.